back to my channel. This channel is all about my recovery from anorexia. Today's video, we're going to be making these new Reese's brownies. They're not technically new. I've seen them in stores before, but I've been wanting to try these for so long, and we're going to make them. I am so excited to try these. I love peanut butter and I love anything Reese's, so I am very excited to try these. And while I make them, I will be kind of talking about an update on how things are going in recovery and just, you know, some things that have been on my mind recently. So yeah, and also please don't mind my face right now. It's a little red. Just finished doing a face mask, so that's why my face looks red. So anyways. So first things first, we need to find all of the ingredients, and I know for sure that vegetable oil is one of those. So I think we just bought a new vegetable oil, so we should have plenty of vegetable oil for this. And then let's see, we need an egg. Good thing we have eggs, and we need water. So we've got everything. All right, and now we need to preheat the oven. I always kind of forget to do that, honestly, and so I don't like forgetting to do that because then I have to wait for it to preheat. And then I'm like super annoyed. All right, so we got everything that we need. We've got eggs, oil, and then I already pre-measured out the water in a little bowl to make it easier, so I didn't have to go back and forth to the sink. So all right, first things first, I gotta pay really close attention to the instructions because I'm gonna be honest, I oftentimes skip instructions because I find them unnecessary, and then things don't turn out great. So, but we really want these to turn out because we've got one mix and we are not gonna be able to do this again. So we're not gonna be able to remake this from scratch because I'm not a baker. So first things first is to add the brownie mix, and oh no, we're gonna have to try to open this. We might have to get some scissors. All right, we acquired the scissors. So let's just, I don't want any explosions, guys. No. I almost spilled that over. Oh. I love the smell of peanut butter. All right, so we're gonna add it in. So there are actually peanut butter chips in this, so it should be extra good. All right, so we just added that, and then we need to add the oil, and that needs a third cup. So, so recovery so far is going really good. I recently went on vacation for a weekend to go see my aunt, uncle, and cousins, and I did pretty good. Honestly, I did not have really any freakouts about food, if I'm being honest, which I'm so proud of myself for. I did really well with just living in the moment, eating spontaneously, and ordering what I wanted. And I'm just ecstatic and so proud of myself, if I'm being honest. Look, you can see the peanut butter chips. Okay, so yeah, overall, amazing. I had a lot of fun, lived in the moment, ordered what I really wanted, and I'm not gonna restrict after the fact, which is a big win because I used to do that a lot. I used to, you know, restrict after, you know, just like trips and vacations and stuff. So we're not doing that, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So yeah, and it's just so exciting, and it was a lot of fun, and I made a lot of memories, and I counted memories over calories, which is freaking awesome. And so far recovery's going good. I feel like I'm making a lot of progress with like not counting calories. I feel like I'm kind of doing pretty good in that area because I know I was struggling with that for a little while there. I was like struggling with that, but so far so good, and I'm not being very restrictive, and it's really good. So all right, now we gotta stir. And so yeah, anyways, I feel like my recovery is actually going really good, if I'm being honest. I feel like, so there was that period of time where I thought that I was starting to slip backwards, and I feel like I really nipped it in the butt and kind of just fought back, and like I feel like I'm doing really good. And if I'm being honest, there was, on that trip, there wasn't really, there was guilt, but it wasn't immediate guilt, if that makes sense. It wasn't like I ate it and I immediately felt guilty. I pushed away the thoughts of guilt for the most part, and then they kind of just all came at once, which was rough. But I didn't think, the main thing was I didn't do anything like because of the guilt. I did not let that guilt make me restrict or make me wig out. And overall it was a lot of fun, and I lived in the moment and made, but yeah, I really just lived in the moment and made memories, and it was so much fun, guys. And we're gonna have a couple events coming up soon. Like we have another wedding. I posted on my story about the wedding that I went to. It was kind of a spontaneous wedding. I didn't know I was going until I was already there. But I'm going to a family member's wedding soon, and that's gonna be fun. So there's gonna be some challenges there. I'm gonna slay them. I'm gonna count memories over calories, and it's just gonna be overall a great time. And then I have some summer camps coming up, which is exciting. So there's gonna be a lot of challenges coming up, and we're in the final crunch for school. So I'm not letting that stress me out, and because eating disorders prey on stress, and so I am not going to use unhealthy coping mechanisms to distress. We are not going to do that. My eating disorder is not my main coping mechanism anymore. It's not even on my list of coping mechanisms because I'm kicking it in its butt. So yeah, we have to climb up on the stool to get the brownie pan. Acquire! And now we got to pan the thingy, the pan. Pan the heck out of it so that the brownies don't stick, because if the brownies stick, we are not going to have brownies. We might have more of a brownie crumble, which would still be delicious. So either way, but we would prefer if they did not stick, right? So we're gonna stink. This stuff does not smell good at all. I'm just saying. If you like the smell of Pam, comment down below, but I don't. I actually have a funny story about Pam. Let me tell you my funny story about. Okay, so my funny Pam story is, so we bought these, so this was like probably when I was like 13. We bought these seasonings, you can get from this Walmart or something. They're popcorn seasonings. There's like ranch, white cheddar, jalapeno, a couple different ones, right? And I was like, how do I get this to stick? Because the seasoning oil, like, I felt like went to the very bottom, and I was like, how do I get these to stick? How do I get the seasoning to stick? I was like, let me use some Pam. And so I would spray Pam on my popcorn and put the seasoning on it. I was like, why isn't this working? I did it for a while because I was like, hey, whatever, you know, I'm sure it's doing something. Well, then one day it finally clicked. I was using non-stick spray to try to get my popcorn seasoning to stick. Keyword, non-stick spray. Non-stick. Of course the seasoning's not gonna stick. It's non-stick spray. But to me, I didn't quite realize that. And so, for the longest time, I was making my popcorn all soggy with the non-stick spray, trying to get the seasoning to stick. I don't even understand what my thought process was, but I still laugh about it because I was using non-stick spray to try to get my seasoning to stick. Like, that's not gonna work. So, yeah, there is 13-year-old me for ya. Yeah, that's my funny Pam story. The sugar fell from the cabinet. As you guys can see, our cabinet space is very limited, and the sugar just kind of like bloop when I was like digging through the baking stuff to get to the chocolate. We'll take care of the mess after we do the brownies, but the batter smells amazing. I was gonna add more chocolate chips, but I actually think that I used them all for something else, so we don't have extra chocolate chips, but that's okay. So now we're just gonna pour it in the pan and smooth it out, get it all smoothed out, and we gotta get every last bit of it in there. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, recovery's going really good. We got a lot of fun events coming up, and I'm so grateful for recovery, because if I wasn't in recovery and I hadn't progressed this far, I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy my events that I have coming up, and I probably wouldn't have the energy to enjoy those events or the freedom, and I would be spending most of my time stressing about, you know, food and restriction during those events, and that's not the case because of recovery. So yeah, and now we just gotta smooth it all out, because right now it's like a little blob, and we need it to be like cover the bottom of the pan. Although, okay, I would go ahead and say this. There is actually a decent amount of peanut butter chocolate chips in this batter. Like, usually they, like, skimp on it, and it's, like, really annoying. But there's actually a pretty decent amount in here. And, which is exciting. Of course, we're gonna find the piece with the most. Like, of course, we're gonna find the piece with the most. And, alright, so, oh, they look so pretty. So, yes. And because of recovery, I can make brownies. I am so grateful to be in recovery and to be at the point where I can face my fears and things aren't like extreme fears anymore. Like sometimes I do get uncomfortable around foods that still make me nervous, but overall this isn't like a full-blown food fear. And I'm getting to the point where it's not even uncomfortable. Look at them, guys. Look how many amazing peanut butter chocolate chips are in this. I'm gonna like cook them for a little bit less than the time because I'm not for sure how big that pan is, because you bake it for the amount of time based on how big the pan is, and so I don't know which size my pan is, so I'm just gonna set the timer for probably like 32 minutes just to be on the safe side, because I don't want them to come out overcooked. I'd rather like have them be a little slightly under and then cook them more. So yeah, so they'll be done in 32 minutes. Now it's time to tackle this mess. Yo, oh no, I literally broke the whole container. The whole container is cracked. It's like the bottom is shattered. Like it's trash. Like literally look at this. The whole thing is just like, and whenever I go like that, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna stop doing that. The sugar just pour. I need to, okay. How do I fix this? How do I go about this? All right, so I transferred the remaining sugar into a little mini container to try to save at least some, like there's not that much on the floor. So we're gonna vacuum this up, guys. I thought this was just gonna be a normal brownie making video, and then I go and pull this kind of crap. Like this is how hectic baking with me is. Okay, now after I've played with it, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it. Alright guys, we got that all cleaned up. Yay! Channel my inner Cinderella, and I got that cleaned up. But why, like, so talking about some things that I've been on my mind recently is just really how far I've come. So if you guys didn't know, this week is my last week of high school, and it is absolutely insane to think about, because let's just say like maybe like 1 to 2 years ago, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to the end of high school. I thought that, like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to graduate, because I was so wrapped up in my eating disorder that my focus was not school, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep up my grades and actually graduate. But here I am at the end of high school, and I did it, and it's just insane to think about how powerful recovery is. And I'm not gonna lie, there were times when I would question and be like, is recovery even worth it? Because it just felt so hard. And I'm standing here further along my recovery journey than I ever thought that I would get. And recovery is worth it. And being able to make brownies because I want them and because I want to try these Reese's brownies, that's insane. That's awesome. And a year ago, I would never been able to do that. I would have been too scared. And here I am today making brownies like it's nothing. And instead of being nervous and afraid to eat them and being scared, I'm ecstatic, and I can't wait for those things to come out of the oven because they smell amazing. And just thinking about how far I've come is just incredible. I don't know, making brownies makes me reflect on like all those times where like people were making brownies and I would tell myself that I couldn't have them, and I would feel so miserable because everyone else was enjoying brownies and I wasn't. And let me just say that you are allowed to join in the fun. You're allowed to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, however much you want, at any point in your life, at all points in your life. You're allowed to eat whatever you want. And yeah, join in the fun, guys, because you're just gonna make yourself miserable by trying to like force yourself not to join in. And honestly, those are some of the most miserable times. because I was so wrapped up in restriction and trying to be good, and when in reality it was just so unhealthy. All the restriction was just so unhealthy, and restriction is bad, guys. Diet culture normalizes it, but it's not a normal thing. It's not healthy. And I just like start to think, like, how did I get to this point? How did I progress in recovery? What are things that helped me? And honestly, the things that brought me the most progress was breaking those rules of the eating disorder set forth. And just no matter how scared or no matter how scary it was, just doing it despite the fear. It's okay to be afraid, but do it despite the fear, because don't let that fear stop you from facing those fears, because if you don't face those fears, they will always stay fears. And facing fears like brownies, you know, that is what helped me get to the point where I'm at. And now, instead of being scared of the brownies, I'm really flipping excited. And honestly, rules, like there are food rules, but there's also rules that the eating disorder creates around like times and like just, you know, structure, and you need to break all of them. For example, I am making these brownies before dinner, and I'm going to eat them before dinner. And beforehand, I would get really freaked out about this. Plankton would make me feel so scared and tell me, no, you can't eat dessert, and you especially can't eat dessert before dinner. Yes, you can. And I am going to. And I'm going to eat these brownies before dinner. And I'm still going to eat dinner, and I'm not going to restrict at dinner time. And that's okay. Part of recovery is breaking those rules. And yes, those rules sometimes need to be repeatedly broken. Well, obviously, yeah. Obviously. You need to, like, continue to keep up with that. You can't just challenge the rule, break the rule, and then stop breaking it and go back. You have to keep breaking it. Keep challenging that. And then it won't be so scary anymore. You have to repeat those challenges to keep them from staying fears. So honestly, I think that's the biggest thing in recovery that helped me get to the point where I'm at, was facing those fears and doing things despite the fear, like having brownies. And I am so incredibly grateful that I can eat brownies now and not be so scared that it stopped me from doing it. And I'm gonna eat as much as I want. There is no restriction to how much I can have. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for recovery. I'm so incredibly grateful. And yes, sometimes I struggle with my body, and I struggle with food, and I struggle with Plankton telling me that recovery isn't worth it, but it really is. And it's moments like these that help me realize that recovery is definitely worth it, for having fun making brownies, and for just enjoying life and counting memories, not calories. But yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about recently, is how grateful I am for recovery, and something that has helped me progress this far in recovery, challenging things and doing it despite the fear. I have moseyed on over towards the oven, and they smell so good, guys. I just love the smell of brownies. It's just amazing. There they are. They look so good. They have about 9 minutes left until I'm gonna check them, but they look so good. But now I have to wait for them to be done. And then I have to wait for them to cool. I forgot, they have to cool afterwards, bro. It honestly feels like torture to like wait for the brownies to cool down and just be smelling them and how amazing they smell, but knowing that you can't eat them right now because they're too hot. They'll burn your mouth, so you gotta wait. And it's truly a test of patience. Okay, it is time to check them with a toothpick because it just be. I am calling them done because the toothpick came out mostly clean. And now we wait for them to cool so we do not burn our face on their delicious. Okay guys, I'm gonna attempt to cut them now. They smell amazing. I know they're still pretty warm. I'm gonna try to cut them. Okay, I just gotta say that the Reese's brownies held up really well when I was cutting. Like usually I used this. Usually brownies like crumble on the edges when I try to cut them, but they held up so good. Comment down below if you prefer a middle piece or an edge piece. I can go either way. I really like corner pieces because you get a little bit of like the soft inside and then some of the crunchy outside, but comment down below. Alright guys, we got our brownie and it's time for the first taste test. I'm so excited. Okay, made sure I got some of the peanut butter chips and the chocolate, so. That is darn freaking delicious. 10 out of 10. Reese's, you slay. That is amazing. The peanut butter chips are so good. Like, peanut butter and chocolate is the best combo by far. But these are freaking good. They came out of the pan super easy. They cut easy and they taste like heaven. And it's just so good. The texture is amazing. There's a lot of peanut butter chips. So freaking good. I love it, Reese's. And it, like, you get that normal brownie taste with the peanut butter. Like, it still tastes like a brownie, and it is so freaking good. I have some Reese's chocolate syrup that I'm gonna pour on this, and I'm going to enjoy this with a show. So yeah. I have this Reese's shell that I'm going to add to it. It is so good. I think it's going to go great with the brownie. And I'm going to relax with my brownie. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I love brownies and I love recovery. And there are highs and lows in recovery, but I'm really grateful for recovery. I'm grateful that I can make brownies and not be afraid to eat them. Keep kicking eating your soda butt, guys. And remember, you guys, you are always valid. I love you guys. Bye.